Well, we've got some big updates starting to trickle their way out on Avengers Doomsday, next year's big Marvel event, and it seems like there's some big changes happening from that original Kang Dynasty story, especially for Doctor Strange. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about some of the news coming out of Hollywood trades, as well as some of the rumors that seem to be filling the void about this big change to Doctor Strange's part. Now, pretty much for the longest time, we've been hearing that Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange was going to be a massive part of the next Avengers movies. Now, originally what we were hearing is the Sorcerer Supreme and the things that he had done throughout the multiverse would lead him to being pretty much branded a threat to all reality by Kang the Conqueror. Now, with the rather weak response to the character in Quantumania, and then the actor being fired after an altercation with his ex-girlfriend, well, all those plans were tossed onto the scrap heap, and now, as many of you know, Robert Downey Jr. will play Doctor Doom and is going to be the Multiverses Saga's big villain. Now, we were talking about this the other day. There's obviously huge changes to that original story, and from what we're hearing, that whole story has just been completely thrown out and is being rewritten as Avengers Doomsday, and it seems like Doctor Strange might have been thrown out with it. Now, recently, Benedict Cumberbatch himself was talking to Variety, and he flat out confirmed that he won't be in the next Avengers film in 2026. He even said, "Is that a spoiler? F it." Now, he did later tell the trade that the plans really did get shifted around after Jonathan Majors was shown the door, and the Sorcerer Supreme not being in Doomsday was pretty much down to, and I quote, the character not aligning with this part of the story. Now, it doesn't mean we're not going to see Doctor Strange, though, in the upcoming films, because apparently he will be seen, and I quote, in a lot of Secret Wars, which is definitely going to be another one of those Russo 1-2 punch projects. Now, if you remember correctly, last time we saw Doctor Strange, he was headed off with Clea to stop an incursion in the Dark Dimension. And we also know Doctor Strange 3 is officially in the works. So obviously Strange is going to play a big part, it just might happen to be where, and he might really and literally be playing the spoiler to Doctor Doom, and Doom won't even know it. Honestly, I think we could see Doctor Strange in this film, but in the post-credit scene. Having him and Clea find out about Doom's victory in Doomsday, the creation of Battleworld, and he might be the one to set in motion the actions to undo it all. Now, what's interesting is, to follow up this report, we started getting some new rumblings from some Hollywood insiders. Now, this particular report comes from My Time to Shine Hello, and you know, we're pretty skeptical of that source, and I find the timing of this particular report, well, rather interesting because it's so close to the heels of something official from Variety, so just pay close attention to this one because I feel sort of weird about it. Now, according to My Time to Shine Hello, the upcoming Avengers 2016 release will actually focus more on the Fantastic Four, with many of the current Earth 616 Avengers as part of the story. Now, many people have complained that the foursome not being a big part of Victor Von Doom's story leading into such a big event is problematic, so this might be, for many, pretty good news. Now, the same report said that Tom Holland will be one of the movie's leads, so it does sound like the current Avengers are probably going to team up directly with the Fantastic Four, with many members of the team spinning directly out of Captain America Brave New World and the Thunderbolts. Now, we want to take any of this portion of the story with a grain of salt. We do know currently this script is being written. It's not even done yet, so I am, like I said, pretty skeptical of all these details. As many of you know, scripts go through lots of iterations behind the scenes, and what we've discovered in previous Avengers movies is sometimes about 30% of this turns out to be right, and the rest of it are ideas that are being swapped in and out of the story to see what works best for the final product. I think that's exactly what's happening here, and I think everybody should be totally prepared for a lot of news coming our way that might not actually be true, or might just be part of drafts of these projects, and will face huge rewrites and major changes before it finally manifests on the screen. So we're going to remain skeptical, but interested. Now, obviously, Avengers Doomsday is going to be the big film of 2026, and we're going to follow all the details pretty closely. I really want to hear how skeptical you guys are of some of these reports, and how you sort of feel about Doctor Strange being removed from the first part of the story in order to make room for the Doctor Doom storyline. Honestly, I trust the Russos, and if they get this right, I really don't care how they put it together on the screen. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Now, before you take off, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, ring that bell for all the updates, and make sure you get every notification because we do daily Marvel and DC content and we don't want you to miss any news.